This is Larry Bonerato from LarryOnLearning.com, and this is your Morning Minute. How is education affected by bureaucracy? The answer to that question requires that we understand these three important quotes. First, from Margaret Mead. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. Second, from Dr. Larry Arne. You have to surrender your opinion in order to learn. And third, from Dr. Thomas Sowell. For bureaucracies, procedure is everything and outcomes are nothing. On October 17, 1979, President Carter signed the law creating a separate Department of Education in the federal government. The stated purpose was to raise the quality of education by standardizing what is taught, so that small school systems with limited funding would be able to offer the same educational opportunities as large, well-funded school systems. They created a huge bureaucracy to accomplish this goal. The Education Department employs 4,400 full-time workers with a current budget of $441 billion. They support educational efforts nationwide, from preschool through college, with grants and other direct investments in schools and school systems. And they're charged with creating innovative processes to create better results for students, teachers, and staff. Now, let's examine the results of our massive investments through this bureaucracy. Out of 81 countries, the U.S. was 16th in science and an abysmal 34th in math. We have students graduating from high school who cannot read at an 8th grade level. Remember that success in reading, science, and math comes down to learning how to think. These performance drops have occurred since Common Core curriculum standards were mandated without any input from the educational professionals. We have affirmative action, critical race theory, and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that view race as much more important than performance. We are indoctrinating our youth in the Marxist views of the oppressed versus the oppressors. These include white privilege and toxic masculinity. We've adopted the distorted and radical American history from Howard Zinn that begins by sharing that the American Revolution was a fraud and goes downhill from there. Then we continue by denigrating American exceptionalism, and we wonder why youth cannot think on their own nor function in a normal society. Let's reread Dr. Sowell's statement. For bureaucracies, procedure is everything and outcomes are nothing. Our Department of Education spends more per student than any other nation to get the dismal outcomes that we enjoy. This Leviathan bureaucracy is focused on methods and procedures while ignoring the outcomes that are destroying our students' opportunities to learn, to grow, and to perform at an acceptable level. If a business fails in its mission, it closes. Our education department is failing in its mission and it needs to close. Additionally, we must adopt the very real function of education. That is to teach individuals how to think, not what to think. Present them with real facts. Let them draw their own conclusions. Then have them test those conclusions in the real world. That is how people learn to think, how to analyze, and how to adjust their conclusions based on real outcomes. And remember Dr. Arne's quote, "You have to surrender your opinion in order to learn." Our students and our country deserve no less. So I ask again, how is education affected by bureaucracy? And that is today's Morning Minute.